Today I'm going to show you how to build this creamy sounding Tiger Light TKL keyboard and perfectly on the first try. And another thing is you will not have to lube any switches to build this. But first, here's what the board sounds like completely finished. The entire build cost around $250 with shipping and tax included. What you'll need is the Tiger Light TKL kit, these pre-lubed Strawberry V2 switches from Keeps, 205G0 and a small brush for the stabilizers, and if you don't have a small paintbrush, you can get them for like $2 on Keeps. Keycaps that include a 7U spacebar, and if you don't know what that is, it's a spacebar size, and not every keycap set comes with one. As you can see, this is the size comparison from more common size, which is 6.25. So you will need a 7U. Additionally, you will also need some painter's tape for the tape mod, and this could also be masking tape, but it cannot be duct tape or anything else. It needs to be painter's tape or masking tape. Also, you'll need some small wire cutters or something to clip the stabilizers, and lastly, a screwdriver. Here is a full master list of everything you'll need and how much it costs. Now on to actually building the board. Inside your keyboard carrying case, you should get the cable, either usually white or black, 2 little plastic bags with all sorts of screws, stabilizers, and parts inside of it, a couple different sheets of foam, an optional tape mod skin thing, the polycarbonate plate, and the PCB. Now the first thing we're going to do is get the stabilizers tuned and on the board. Inside one of the bags you should find these little plastic pieces in 2 different sizes and these little metal wires. We're going to need all 3 of these. First, take out the small little stem pieces and snip off the little hanging plastic feet off the bottom with your wire cutting tool. The hanging feet should look like this. And make sure you clip them off all the way so the bottom is completely flat. They should not have this little nib. If they do, you can kind of just cut it sideways until it scrapes off. Perfect, now just do that to all the stems. Now grab all the bigger plastic pieces, your lube, and your brush. Now when it comes to lubing, I would get about a half a grain of rice size on the tip of your brush and then spread it along the inside of your housing. You shouldn't really see any white globs, it should kind of just be a light shine across the inside. And don't be too scared if you add too much, 205G0 is quite forgiving. With all of those lubed, you're next going to want to grab all your clipped stems. Grab one and find the side with 2 holes. You're going to want to line this up with the big hole on the big housing. With them lined up properly, you can now slide them together. Repeat this for all the stems and housing, and the next thing you're going to do is grab these weird white tab things. Carefully snap them all off and line the big hole up with, of course, the big hole on the stabilizers. In the footage here, I already have the wire connected, but don't worry, we'll get there very soon. You don't need to have the wire connected to do this step. They should fit together pretty easily, and they shouldn't fall off. You're going to want to do that to all your stabilizers. Next, we're going to put the wires in them. You're going to want to grab all your small wires and then the larger of the 2 big ones. When lubing the stabilizer wires, you can be pretty generous with the lube, and I like to grab a decently sized glob and fill the whole end of the wire. Make sure you evenly spread it around the whole end of the wire and just a little bit around this corner. This is what I would call a perfect amount of lube on a wire. With this ready, you can insert it into the bottom hole of the stabilizer stem. You might need to kind of peek through until you can see it. Once it's inside, you can then snap it together, lube the other side of the wire, snap the other one in, and make sure they're both facing the same direction. A finished stabilizer should look like this. Now once you've done that to all your stabilizers, you can now test them out on the keyboard. Grab your PCB and this very thin sheet of foam and fit them together. Everything should line up pretty well. And there will also be these perfect little gaps for the stabilizers. And if you're having trouble with the foam sheet sliding around, you can gently tape at the edges with some painter's tape. Alright, in this next part, I don't have the little thin piece of foam in it because I kind of filmed things out of order, so just remember that you should have it there. When placing the stabilizers, make sure you put the large side first and completely fit it inside the PCB. You can check the bottom to see if this little thing is bumping out right here and it's clipped in all the way. You'll screw in the stabilizers with these small silver screws and these little plastic washer rings. Now I screw them in lightly until the screwdriver naturally slips off. They should be pretty secure, but you just don't want to over tighten. Now with all the stabilizers in, we can quickly test them. I would test them with the plate and foam added just to make sure everything fits correctly. The foam will go in just like this and the plate on top. Now I'm just using some random test switches and some random keycaps, so don't worry if they look different. All switches will face with the fat side facing up just like this. They will also pop in really easily, and if it's not budging, do not force it. You can slap those keycaps on and test all the stabilizers. You want to make sure everything sounds and feels pretty good because it's easier to fix now than it is later. Now if something does feel weird, you might want to just review the previous steps just to see if you did anything wrong or they're all connected properly. Once everything is working, it's time to move on to the next step. which is adding all of our switches. This is pretty easy. All the switches will be facing up in this direction, just like this, and you're good to slap all those in. If you do end up bending any of the switch wires, it's pretty easy to fix. You can kind of just bend them back with your finger or straighten them out with some needle nose pliers. Once all your switches are in, I think this is the best time to do the tape mod. Flip it over and I'll do about 3 layers of, again, painter's tape on the whole board. Also, make sure you know where this little port is because we'll need it later. And if your PCB came with the wire inside, you can just pop it out. I tape over the entire board first and then trim off the excess. Also, I trim a little hole for this little port. At this point, you can also feel free to add that custom tape mod design if you want it. It's totally optional. Next, you'll need to grab your keyboard case and screw in this little daughter board. This is a pretty self-explanatory step. Just line it up. It should kind of go in upside down and then screw it in using these small black screws, not the long ones. At this time, I would also add the last piece of foam into the bottom of the case, and you might need to string it through this little hole. From here, we're going to need to add these little gasket silicone things onto the plate. Again, this is pretty easy. You just grab the little gasket things and slide them onto these little points, which go around the entire board. Should look something like this when it's done. Now, if you're wondering why I just have one random switch in there, it's because I was originally going to do a sound test between a couple different switch types for the build, but I ended up scratching that. Alright, now we just need to plug in the board. I like to orient the board like this. It makes it a little bit easier when plugging in the cable. When plugging it in, make sure the side with these little metal things are pointing away from you. So just like this. Lightly push it in and make sure there's no resistance, and then if there is none, you could just push it in all the way until it's connected. This is what it will look like when it's done. Now you can just lay the board into the case and make sure all the gasket things are in their spot. You can slap the top frame on there and screw it in using the included tool and the long black screws. With everything screwed up, you can now put the little rubber feet on the bottom. We're basically done now, and you can just put your keycaps on and test out if everything works. I recommend going to a keyboard testing software like VIA and making sure all the switches work. If they don't work, I would pop out the switch and make sure the pins aren't bent at all. This is usually the problem 99% of the time. Hope you liked the video and comment any questions and concerns, but if this video's been out for more than a couple months, I probably won't respond, because it's impossible to respond to all comments on all my pages. Thanks, bye.